You might think you already know the story of Brian Francisco Flores, but what if I told you that his journey is far deeper, more intense, and more inspiring than most people realize? From his early days as an American football player to becoming one of the most talked-about coaches in the NFL, Brian Flores's life is a story of resilience, reinvention, and quiet power. This is the inside story of Brian Francisco Flores's insane lifestyle in 2026, a story that proves success doesn't always come easy, but it always leaves clues. Take your time and subscribe before we continue. Like the video, comment, and share. This motivates me to bring your more trending stories about your celebrities. Brian Francisco Flores grew up in Brooklyn, New York, far from the bright lights of NFL stadiums. Football was never just a game for him. It was a way out, a way forward, and eventually, a way to lead. He played college football and later spent time as an American football player, but his playing career never brought him superstar fame. And for many people, that's where the story would have ended. But for Brian Flores, that was only the beginning. When his playing days came to an end, Brian made a decision that would change his life forever. Instead of walking away from the sport, he stepped into coaching, starting from the bottom. He took low-profile roles, worked behind the scenes, and absorbed everything he could. His biggest breakthrough came with the New England Patriots, where he worked under Bill Belichick and became part of one of the most dominant dynasties in NFL history. During that time, Flores won multiple Super Bowls and earned a reputation as a brilliant defensive mind who understood the game on a deep, strategic level. That reputation eventually led him to his first head coaching job with the Miami Dolphins. It was a challenging chapter, filled with rebuilding, pressure, and controversy. Despite limited resources, Flores led the Dolphins to competitive seasons and proved he could turn struggling teams into disciplined units. But his exit from Miami sparked league-wide conversations and placed him at the center of one of the most talked-about legal and cultural discussions in NFL history. Instead of letting that moment define him, Brian Flores chose to keep moving forward. He returned to coaching with renewed focus, first as an assistant and then as a defensive coordinator, where his impact was immediate. By the mid-2000s, his defenses were aggressive, unpredictable, and feared across the league. And now, in 2026, Brian Francisco Flores finds himself once again at the center of NFL attention. As the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings, he has just signed a contract extension, a clear sign of how highly the organization values his leadership and football IQ. At the same time, his name continues to circulate in head coaching conversations across the league, proving that his story is far from finished. Off the field, Brian Flores lives a lifestyle that reflects discipline rather than excess. By 2026, his net worth has reached the multi-million-dollar range, built through years of coaching contracts, smart financial planning, and strategic investments. He isn't known for flashy spending or loud displays of wealth. Instead, he focuses on stability and long-term growth. Real estate investments, carefully chosen business ventures, and a strong financial foundation define his approach to money. For Flores, wealth isn't about showing off. It's about security and freedom. When it comes to his personal life, Brian Francisco Flores remains extremely private. In a world where public figures often share every detail of their relationships, Flores chooses silence. His love life is rarely discussed, and that mystery has only increased public curiosity. Those close to him say he values peace, trust, and genuine connection above all else. He prefers to keep his personal relationships away from the spotlight, protecting the people around him from unnecessary attention. One of the most powerful parts of Brian Flores' lifestyle in 2026 is his commitment to giving back. While he doesn't seek praise for it, he quietly supports causes related to education, youth development, and community empowerment. He understands where he came from, and he believes success means very little if it doesn't help others rise as well. His philanthropy is intentional, consistent, and often done without public recognition. Looking at Brian Francisco Flores today, it's clear that his life is not defined by a single role. He is no longer just a former football player or a coach on the sidelines. He is a leader, a strategist, an investor, and a role model for perseverance. His lifestyle in 2026 reflects years of hard lessons, setbacks, and growth, all combined into a life built on purpose rather than noise. And as the NFL world continues to watch his next move, one thing is certain: Brian Francisco Flores is still writing his story. Whether he returns to a head coaching role or continues reshaping defenses, his journey proves that true success isn't always loud, but it is always earned. And for Brian Flores, the most powerful chapters may still be ahead.